Captain Cook. Hey guys, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics. Tonight we are going to do a preview for the round 2 clash between the Sydney Roosters taking on the New Zealand Warriors down there at Allianz Stadium in Sydney. And joining me for the first time on this channel as a special guest is none other than Roosters Tragic fan and Hainsey. How's it going, Hainsey? Welcome to the channel for the very first time.
Hey, Fanatics, great to be here. Real honour and privilege to be on the Great Warriors NRL Fanatics channel. Can't wait for this Saturday's clash at Allianz. Going to be a great preview. Stoked to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. But for those of you who don't know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself and your history behind being a Roosters fan, and just introduce yourself.
Yeah, happy to. Just like you, mate. Just a standard NRL content creator. I obviously support the Roosters. There's a little bit of a few theories why I support the Roosters. Number one, that my brother, he's 5 years older than me. He was a Rooster supporter back in the day. It just made sense. And I was born in the year 2002, and that was the year the Roosters won the comp. So that's another reason. And at the same time, as well, my favorite player of all time is Anthony Minicello, so it was easy to get behind the boys like that. So, but yeah, obviously, it just I think my first vlog I did was in 2018 for the NRL Grand Final between the Roosters and the Storm, and it just went from there. Had about over 1,000 views in my first ever videos. It just went from there. So yeah, that's all what I do these days.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Hainsey does have a YouTube channel, so reckon you go subscribe to this channel. I'll put a
Seems we've lost him there. You hear me, Fanatics? Seems to seem lost him there. It's a bit of a shame. Hey, Fanatics, I don't know if you can hear me or not, mate, but yeah, you're a bit laggy, mate. Can't really hear you.
Jackson.
Oh, might have lost him there. So obviously we apologise to Fanatics, but should be a good game this weekend between the Warriors and the Roosters. If you guys don't know who I am, we'll be heading down to the game. I live in Brisbane, so I will be heading down to the game this Saturday afternoon at Allianz. It's going to be a great afternoon. Should be a good game, actually. It'll be a great game. Great to be back at Allianz as well. But yeah, look, it should be a good afternoon. And whenever we see Fanatics come back on, we'll definitely be getting into the preview. Should be good. I think while we're here, if you guys want to, here we go, he's back in. But if you guys want to, in the live chat, put some questions in or some predictions, it'll be make the time go faster. Yep, here he is.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry.
There you are. Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Sorry about that.
Sorry,
viewers. Yeah, we'll get back into it. So we'll just go through the team list now. So Hainsey can go through the home side, the Roosters first, and then I'll go through the Warriors last. So yeah, apologies for that cut off there. So we'll get back into it.
All right, so we're getting to the Roosters team news. Fullback, we've got James Tedesco, skipper. On the wings, Daniel Tupou and Jackson Paulo. The centers, Joseph Suali'i and Joseph Manu. The halves of Luke Keary and Sam Walker. The front row of Lindsay Collins, Fletcher Baker, and the hooker, the cheese, Brandon Smith. The Egan Butchers, Egan Butcher and Nat Butcher in the back row with Victor the Inflictor. Bradley is named at 13 at lock, but I'm not 100% sure if he's going to play. Then the back row, the bench, Jake Turpin, Drew Hutchinson, Nafua White, Terrell May in our reserves. 18th man is number 19, Ben Thomas, with Sandon Smith, Su'a Wong, Ellie Azakum, and Corey Allen, and number 18.
Yep. Okay. So onto the Warriors team list now. So there's not really any changes to report there. It's pretty much the same lineup from last week's clash against the Knights. So fullback is Chance Nickel-Klugstad, Edward Cozy on the wing. So still no Dylan Watini-Zalizan. He's out with an injury still. Brandon Williami, in the centres with Adam Pompey, Marcelo Moncho on the wing, and Havza Tamari Martin and Sean Johnson. Adam Fanublik's the prop, Waiting is the hooker. Mitchell Barney in the other prop position, and Jackson Ford in the second row with Murata Niokore and Lockers captain Tohu Harris. Bench is Dylan Walker, Bunty Afoa, Josh Curran, and Tom Ale, and the reserves are Viliami Valia, Freddie Lussick, Ronald Volkman, Tane Tuipiki, and Bailey Serenan, which is interesting because Ronald Volkman and Freddie Lussick are also named in the New South Wales Cup team as well. So that's very interesting. But I think they probably will be playing New South Wales Cup this week. So that is the Warriors lineup there. So, Hainsey, what is your thoughts on both teams? The Warriors and the Roosters. What is your thoughts? Do Joseph Marnie's a massive in. That's a huge in for you guys, but you've still got no Hardgraves there. So what's your thoughts on your Roosters side and the opposition?
We'll start with the Roosters. Look, our back line, basically from 1 to 7's full strength that we can field on the field with Joseph Manu's back to great in for the Roosters. Obviously, we missed him a little bit last week. Obviously, no Jararia Hargreaves. I think so. The Roosters have said that he will be ready to go next week. Hopefully, he's tracking well with his recovery from his back injury. So I think it'll be about 6 weeks since the injury occurred. So I think he'll be right to go. Hopefully next week when we take on the Rabbitohs, it'll be a big game, that one. And obviously the stats don't lie. The average win percentage when Jared's on the field is like over 70%, or 80% or something like that. So we need him on the field. Fletcher Baker, I really like Fletcher Baker. He's a really good player. I think he'll do a job, But the thing that worries me this week is our bench. Similar as last week, we've got 2 outside backs on the bench. We've got Jake Turpin, we've got Drew Hutchinson, and on top of Navua White and Terrell May. I think that's what lost us the game last week against the Dolphins, that we were weak in our bench and we weren't able to roll on with the start that we had with Matt Lodge and Lindsay Collins. So it's going to be interesting how they go. Hopefully, Robbo makes a few changes come kickoff. Hopefully, we just keep one. I think I can see why they're in that side in case Victor Radley is ruled out. Obviously, he did suffer a concussion on Sunday against the Dolphins, and he's been named to play, but he still has to go through the concussion protocol between now and kickoff. So the squad gets shrinking to 19 players, is that right? For about so Friday afternoon, about 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. for us up here in Queensland. So it'll be interesting to see if he's past the HIA. It's going to be tough though. It's a 6-day turnaround between Sunday and Saturday, so he'll be racing the clock. I can't really see him play, so I think we might see the likes of Jake Turpin come into the starting at number 9, the Chiefs are 13, and Hutchinson as your 14, and then bring on the likes of Ben Thomas and Seal Wong, for example, into the starting 17. But you never know. So, but yeah, the squad looks great, but however, we know there's some little bit of holes in the squad that the Dolphins exposed last week, and that's what got me worried about this game. That how these can these boys play big minutes, because from what it looks like they're gonna have to.
Yeah, so just reading a comment in the live chat from Jacko, he's saying Jared Ware-Hargraves and Lodge are big outs, but Manu is a game breaker. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know how big of an in Joseph Manu is. We know he had a great Rugby League World Cup last year as well, especially for the Kiwis. Had a strong tournament there, despite the Kiwis going out in semis there. But Hargraves and Lodge, they're big outs, but the Roosters still have, I think personally, a still very good solid 4-pack to match it with the Warriors with us as well. So look, in regards to that Dolphins game in particular last week, what did you take out of it, especially given that result? What were things that you think need to be improved on, like areas that you need to see from this Rooster side going into this game?
Well, number one's completion rate, mate. Obviously, we dropped too much ball, and you're not going to win games of football with 58% completion rate. That's just facts. I thought we started okay. I think we started okay, but I think Jerry Marshall King and they just won through the middle, And I said it on my preview last week, and I said it again with my preview with the hold the ball. I said the best way to beat the Roosters is if you can dominate the middle, and that's what the Dolphins did on Sunday. Felice Kafusi, a big game changer with those massive hits on both Brandon Smith and Egan Butcher. And I'll go back to that comment that you guys, one of your subscribers just said about no Lodge and Jared is a big out. You're right, because, if Jared would have played on Sunday, I think Jared would have stood up to Felice Kafusi. We just didn't have anyone to stand up to Felice Kafusi bashing us through the middle. But, the completion rate and just tightening up through the middle. We saw that a few times also in the preseason challenge against Manly, where a few times a little lazy tightness through the middle, and they just went through us. So, but I think Robbo, Robbo we trust as what we say at the Roosters. So I think he'll get the game plan right. Manu's a big in for us, and I think we'll be right around that right edge. But it's just the two things that we need to work on this weekend is to hold the completion rate, discipline, and just tightening up through the middle. That's our best way of winning the game.
Yeah, and the close stuff is saying you bash Roosters 4-pack up and you limit the halves. Teddy and Manu does. Yeah, especially Tedesco, especially the Warriors will need to, put a lot of kicking pressure on James Tedesco, because we know James Tedesco, when you give him room to move, he's just hard to stop. He's a danger everywhere. So Tedesco, especially Manu, and I look at the Roosters outside backs. I mean, I think personally they've got the wood there and the outside backs, their back four, especially against the Warriors back four there. But the close stuff is right. The 4-pack, especially if you can take it to the Roosters 4-pack and limit their outside backs as well, especially there. So, we'll look to the key matchups now. So the key matchups for both sides. Hainsey, which key matchup are you looking for both sides of the field in terms of the Warriors, Roosters? Which ones are you looking out for?
Well, obviously it's the two fullbacks, James Tedesco up against Charles Nicoll-Klokstad. I thought Nicoll-Klokstad had a great game for the Warriors in his first game back for the club. I thought he played really well. But back to your comment just before, if the Roosters are winning the middle, that's when you get Manu and Tedesco involved even more, and our set starts are one of the best in the comp if we're dominating the middle, Tupou, Suaalii, Tedesco, they can run 50 meters in the first 3 tackles. So that's paramount for any team playing the Roosters. If you can win the middle, that's when you get your game or you get everyone else involved in the game. But obviously, Tedesco up against Nicoll-Klokstad, great battle. We all recognise the 2019 grand final. Nicoll-Klokstad had a great game, so did Tedesco. But those two ball playing fullbacks are really, really good at their position. So I think it'll be great. I'll just quickly go through the Warriors so I can pick out a few of myself. I might go the we'll go with the locks here. Victor Radley, if he plays, up against Tohu Harris. Now, obviously, if you look at those two, you think Bradley's a ball playing lock and more Tohu Harris as a ball carrying lock, you would say. If that makes sense. So that might be interesting, but it all depends on who plays. Obviously, the Roosters with Radley, they like to use him as a ball playing lock. Fast service out to your outside backs. Well, I thought Tohu Harris, with all respect to be a leader, just trying to take the ball onto his wing and run hard, and tackle hard. So it'd be a good matchup though. Obviously Tohu Harris will lead from the front. So obviously those two battle packs will be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, I agree actually, and the likes of Mitchell Barnett and Jackson Ford, Nia Corey, we've got Tohu Harris against the likes of Baker there, Butcher and Radley as well. I think that's a really good matchup actually between those forwards. And I mean, Jackson Ford actually has really impressed me so far in the preseason as well as last week's game. I thought it was very strong in that second row. And personally, during the off season, I wasn't big on the signing. I thought it was just going to be a depth signing, but he's turned out to be so far a pretty good starter. And I know it's only a couple of games, but he's actually been quite strong and he's kept his position in the side so far. But also, the fullback battle is going to be very exciting. You've got Teddy versus James Tedesco versus Charles Nicoll-Klokstad as well, CNK. So that's going to be a very good battle between those two fullbacks. And I reckon those are good battles in between those players. So I think they're going to be strong across the field in that area. So we'll just read into the chat here. I'll just read some of the comments. So CNK and Teddy's mouth-watering, says Jacko. And Dylan is saying here, what are your thoughts on the trail? What's this? Trail May kid looks like a weapon. Trail May. Yeah, I don't know anything about him, but Hazy can comment on that one.
Yeah, look, on top of my head, I think he's the brother of one of the May brothers at Penrith. There's two of them, isn't there? I can't. Yeah, he's a good kid. He debuted last year against Penrith. He's a good up and coming forward. He's got potential. He runs hard, tackles hard. What you do from your young back row. He plays anyway. He's played through the middle before he's played the back row. I think he's just trying to find his feet in first grade. And he's only played for a handful of games. So, but he'll get the when he's a big boy, and in a couple of years he'll be a big forward for the Roosters. So. But yeah, look, I've got high praises on him. He's a good young fella. He like I actually had him on my channel post match after the Roosters Sharks game last year, and he said all he wants to do is just get back to work and work hard and fight for my position. So, but yeah, it seems like a kid that just wants to go in and do the job for his team, and that's what the Roosters mentality is all about. So, but yeah, really high praises for Terrell, mate.
Yeah, so just read a comment here. Jacko's also saying Harrison ball players shone last week when he puts Barnett through the line, which led to a try. Yeah, look, I reckon Toyo Harris last week was very strong. Yeah, he had a very good game actually, and Mitchell Barnett as well playing a position which is probably not a position he usually plays in, like prop. He's always been in that second row when he's played for the Knights, and I think Mitchell Barnett in that position was actually good too. So, yeah, I agree with you, Jacko Harry, on that comment. So. Yeah, look at the strengths and weaknesses for both sides now. So, for the Roosters, what do you think is your strength? Obviously, you got Tedesco, you got Joey Manu there, Tupou. You've got Suoliti as well. Spot to mention Suoliti as well. He's had a good year last year for the Roosters, especially, and I think he's apparently he's staying with the Roosters from what I've heard. Is that correct?
Yeah, so he's activated his player clause in his contract, so he can re-sign for another season. So he's locked into 2024, which is obviously a big blow for the Wallabies, but probably a good thing for you All Blacks fans if you watch rugby. But yeah, it's good for the Roosters. It's a good headache to have. So I think in 2024, end of next year, that both Suoliti and Tedesco's off contracts has a little bit of a good headache to have with the Roosters. Who do you want? But the Roosters, Uncle Nick, he'll always find a way to have both of them. So I'm not worried. Don't look into the media sometimes, like saying, "Oh, I can't keep both." We find a way. We find a way. And I love how everyone calls us a salary cap cheats and we wrought the system and all that kind of stuff. However, it's just good business. You look at the people who are in charge at the Roosters. You've got Nick Politis is our chairman. One of the board members is Mark Boris, and he's an absolute one of the best businessmen in the country. So we know. I think the Roosters, as an organisation, we sort of know what we're doing with these kind of parts. We find ways to squeeze it. We squeeze it as much as we can, but we've got good businesses at our club, and that's how we are able to afford these players. So, but yeah, look, it's great for us that he's willing to stay. Apparently, he's taking a pay cut to stay at the Roosters and go to South, which is just funny because stuff South. Absolutely hate him. But yeah, no, it's a good signing. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it's great for him.
Yeah, all right. So looking at the comments here. I'll just read that one. So I'll just go for the new one here. Okay, so why do they keep putting in Pompey over Villiers? If you watch the trials so far, Villiers has had some issues defensively, and I think the reason why Adam Pompey's been brought into the side is because that Pompey is a bit of a bigger body than Villiers, so that's probably the reason why he's been picked. So I think Pompey last week, although I'm probably not the biggest of fans of him starting over Villiers, I think Villiers should be starting personally, but I think Pompey had a good game last week, so we'll see how he goes this week in this game against the Roosters, especially coming up against Joey Manu and that. So yeah, that's going to be interesting nonetheless there. But look into the betting prices actually for this one, Sportsbet. So the Sydney Roosters, they're paying $1.29. So favourites there, no surprise. Warriors actually playing $3.62 there. So yeah, look, not too shocked there, but the Warriors are massive outsiders.
Good value though for Warriors. Good value.
Yeah.
If you're running man, I'd have them to cover the line. If I'm honest, I don't think the Roosters are going to go out and blitz it, but we'll get into the position shortly. But yeah, look, great value for you Warriors fans if you want. You'd like a cheeky punt on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so Jacko's saying Villiers the future, but I guess Pompey at present has better D, although that's arguable. Yeah, fair enough. Jacko agree there, but we'll look to the stats actually. So the Warriors and the Roosters. So Roosters and Warriors played 42 times actually in these sides. So 42 times. The Warriors are actually ahead, which is I'm not surprised by 21-20, but it's only
really?
one ahead. in the head-to-head stats.
Wow.
Draws 1, and the last meeting, obviously, last year, the Roosters won that 22 points to 14, actually. And look, I think that game against the Roosters was, I think that was at the cricket ground, believe it or not. I think it was the cricket ground.
It was. It was the 20-year anniversary of the 2002 grand final.
Yeah,
the Roosters did the away with the collar, and I think you guys had that jersey that you're wearing.
Yeah, this one here.
This one. Yeah, it was a historical day, but yeah, obviously we weren't great in that game either, but we found a way to get the job done. But yeah, I'm actually surprised that you guys got the ahead on the head-to-head, which is surprising me. But yeah, no, that's credit to you guys. Yeah, you guys got the better of the Roosters over the last 25 years that you guys been in the comp. So, but yeah, good on yous.
Yeah, I was actually surprised by that. I just found that out on NRL.com. So I was looking at the stats, and it came up Roosters 20, and I'm like, that actually surprised me. I thought the Roosters would be ahead by a lot more in terms of the head-to-head stats. But yeah, anyway, that's very interesting. But just read into the comments here. So I got a comment here saying, where do you see Metcalf slotting in once he comes back? Yeah, look, on that one, actually, Sean Johnson now, I think last week, I wouldn't say he was terrible, but he's still got some things in his game where I don't know, his kicking game's not at the greatest at the moment, and I think he needs to improve on that area. Personally, I think he does. I wouldn't say he was horrible in that game last week, but, you know, his kicking game does need to step up a bit because we're coming up against the Roosters, and our kicking game will need to be at our very best to put pressure on this Roosters team and get a result as well. So, Metcalf, in regards to Metcalf, look, he's out injured at the moment, unfortunately, and he done his hammy. So, it's a shame because he really killed in that trial against the Tigers. And I know people are going to say it's the worst Tigers at the end of the day, but still, you know, you go out there and you perform like that. It's a credit to him, and you know you want to step his mark and try and get a first grade spot. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to play in that Melbourne Storm preseason trial. So I'm not too sure. You know, look, if Johnson doesn't play good, you know, maybe Metcalf comes in. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen there, but we'll have to wait and see. I think Metcalf, once he gets back from injury, he'll be playing a bit of New South Wales Cup, I think, for the next couple of weeks, and I'll see how he goes there. But that's all I could say on that one. But Jacko, I'll just read this comment quickly from Jack and we'll move on. So it depends if we keep performing. He could go straight into first grade or be in reserve grade. Yeah, exactly right, Jacko. I think that's what could be the case there. But so also the win record at Allianz, just quickly on this one. Roosters 64%. So Warriors 14 from 24 with 58% there. So obviously Roosters very strong at home in Sydney, especially at Allianz Stadium. We haven't played at the new Allianz Stadium actually yet, so it's the first time we've played there since the redevelopment of the stadium. So yeah, it's going to be awesome to see.
It's only been the Rabbitohs that played us there.
Yeah,
it's 1-1. It's 1-1 between us, and next week we'll make sure that's Allianz, not Trallianz, that's for sure. But yeah, I think you guys beat us in the last time that we played us at Allianz in 2018. I think it was like that Easter Saturday game. I think it was like 30-6 favor of you guys actually. So, but yeah, no, it's going to be great. Saturday afternoon. It's going to be interesting that we're not playing South at Allianz for a change. So it's going to be great to see. Be a little bit of anticipation to see how we go, you know, and hopefully we get a good crowd in this Saturday afternoon, the first game back at Allianz. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, all right. So from here now is what are your keys to victory for both sides? Like for the Roosters to get up now and get the result and get the 2 points to finally get your first win. Obviously, being only the second round, but what is the keys to victory for the Roosters to get up over this Warriors side? Is it to frustrate them early, get some points on the board, or is it just doing what the Roosters usually do, just play that structured football?
Yeah, look, obviously for us, the one thing that we need to do is hold the ball. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Look, we're a team that's fast tempo, like to start well, dominate early through the middle, and scoreboard pressure. is also another thing that we're good at. So if we can go out there, start well through the middle, which we can do, limit their errors and our, just unforced errors and discipline, I think it'll be hard for the Warriors to keep up with that, with no disrespect to you Warriors fans. But look, it all depends on what style of Roosters that turn up. If we turn up the way that we did against the Dolphins, very flat, not looking good, the Warriors dominate through the middle, I could see a Warriors upset. But if we can do what we can do is go through if we can start well through the middle, it gets Tedesco, it gets Suoli, it gets Manu involved in the game through the middle. Fast-paced tempo is the motto at the Roosters. And if we can do that, we can get on top early and we could. I think we need to set a statement too to the competition. We probably would have been laughed at a lot after the loss of the Dolphins, and I've copped it everywhere. But I think, excuse me for saying this, but I really hope we shut a lot of people up this weekend. But no disrespect to the Warriors, I really hope you guys do well. But at the same time, we really need to set a statement to the competition to say, look, last week was just a one-off, and we're still the premiership favourites to win the comp. So if we can just win the middle, get our key players involved, and just fast-paced structure, and we should be okay.
Yeah, so I was personally surprised with that game actually last weekend. I watched it Sunday, and you'd think, the Roosters, I thought they started off all right, in the game, and then, I thought they were going to go on with the second half, but, the Dolphins just, they were out there on a mission. It was like their first game, the crowd was behind them, and the occasion first game in the competition, and that sort of helped in their case, actually, and it played into their favour. So, the Roosters' completion rate, like you said, there was just not Roosters-like. It really was dreadful, in my personal opinion, I think. But won't see the Roosters make those many mistakes this week, and I reckon it's going to be a very tough and tall ask for us to go there to Sydney and get the 2 competition points against you guys. But, my key for the Warriors is obviously building on last week's performance against the Knights, but we've got to be obviously better in attack. Just our attack wasn't quite there yet. Defensively, I thought we were very strong, especially in that second half. Although the Knights didn't really throw a lot at us, I don't think they really did throw a lot at us personally, but defensively, look, Chancellor Cook started making some tries, some tackles. So, those are the moments you need to make it in games like this against the Roosters, especially. So, look, in terms of a prediction now for this game, how do you reckon it's going to go? Do you reckon your boys are going to get up and, get the win? Do you think it's going to be a very strong win, or do you think it's going to be a close game? How do you feel it's going to go, the game?
Well, I want to go the same way that I thought I predict the Dolphins game, is that the Warriors will be in this game for about 60, 65 minutes, and the Roosters should run away with it. Look, I think the Warriors are going to be with a lot of confidence coming over, getting that win in Wellington on Friday night. They've got a 8-day turnaround, which is good for them. So it's good for them that they fly over. They'll have a good preparation. So look, I think the Roosters need to set a statement, and I think we will. But I think it'll be a lot tighter than a lot of people think. So, a scoreline won't say this, but I think it'll be a lot tighter than it thinks. So I'm going to go Roosters 36, the Warriors 22.
Yeah, all right. So just looking to the chat here. So Jacko, Yoza's replying to Jacko, talking about Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson's miles behind it. Fair enough. So we'll get into my prediction now. So my prediction, I reckon that. Look, it's probably backing my heart over my head more likely. So, I'm going to back the boys, and I have to back the team in here. So,
support your team, mate, 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be hard and difficult. I get it, and the Roosters are definitely going to be hungry after, last week. They'll be fired up after last week's result. Trent Robertson's going to have them prepped and ready for this game, especially, and I no doubt he'll be laying down the law as well to the Roosters team this week. So, look, I think. Yep. I'm going to tip the Warriors to win here. I am going to back the boys in. Warriors by 8. I'm going to go Warriors by 8, actually. I reckon it'll be close. try scorers. Who do you reckon is going to score anytime try scorer in this game?
I think Daniel Tupou, he had a bad week last week, and he needs to prove his spot in the side. Obviously, Dom Young is on his way next year, so it's a bit of question mark to see if Tupou get re-signed. So he needs to prove himself here with a big performance week in, week out to prove that he's worth. I love Daniel Tupou. He always comes on my channel every time I see him. He's a fantastic guy, and he's a great footballer. He's on track to beat the all-time leading try scorer for the club. So I think he'll be in for a try. He loves Allianz. He has a great record at home, Tupou. So I think Tupou anytime try scorer. A little bit of value here for the first try scorer. I'm gonna go with a bit of a roughie here. I'll go with Egan Butcher. He had a disappointing week last week. I think he needs to prove himself again. And I think he might target. Who's your left edge? Sorry, right edge defender. Is it Sean Johnson or is it the? I forgot who the. But yeah. So I think so. Yeah, Egan Butcher might target a little bit of Sean Johnson's right side, and I think good old Luke Keary will put him through for a short ball in the score the first try. So Tupou anytime and Egan Butcher first try.
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to go Marcelo Montour to score. I reckon he's got a bit of a habit of scoring tries as well. And I think Chance Nickel-Klugstad, actually, fullback for us there. I'll go CNK. For the Roosters, I probably would say someone like James Tedesco will score in this one. I reckon he'll score a try in this game. Daniel Tupou. And I'm actually going to go with Sam Walker. Bit of a roughie there, throwing Sam Walker to score.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
So, just quick go through the comments before we end the preview. So, no new comments here. So, just previous comments just read. So, just I'd like to, thank Hainsey for coming on the channel and really appreciate you giving up your time to come on for the preview. And, good luck on Saturday, but not too much luck, obviously. Hope my boys get the win. May the best team win, and good luck for the rest of the season as well. And go and check out Hainsey's channel and subscribe to his channel. The link is in the description down below.
Nice, Fanatics. Thanks for having me on. It's a real pleasure to be on. Same to you, mate. Good luck for the rest of the season. We'll definitely have to catch up around Magic Round for sure. So, and definitely have you on for the next preview with the Roosters Warriors. I think round 9 in New Zealand. So, we'll definitely talk soon. But I really appreciate you allowing me to come on. But then, definitely make the best team win. I cannot stand the fact that I go to Sydney this weekend and watch them lose 2 weeks in a row. I would not be impressed. So hopefully we win.
Yeah, exactly right. And for sure, it definitely should meet up at Magic Round. I'm definitely going to be going this year. I went to the last couple of Magic Rounds especially, and it's always a good event, Magic Round. So, I'm looking forward to Magic Round this year. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in and watching tonight. And if you haven't done so already, go and check out Hainsey's channel, subscribe to his channel. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. On the road to 3K subscribers at the moment, at the 2,200 subscriber mark. So hopefully can get there 3K by the end of the year. But also don't forget to like this live stream as well. Make sure you click the thumbs up on the live stream. Share the live stream around. And thanks, everyone, for watching. Have a good night. And, up the Mighty Warriors. Enjoy your week.